Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. What if I told you that some major shakeups are potentially brewing in the NFL, specifically involving the Seattle Seahawks and one of the most talked about teams right now, the Dallas Cowboys? Yes, it's true. Rumors are swirling and they're pretty intense. We have reports from Diana Rossini suggesting that the Cowboys, currently sitting at 3-5 and deep into a defensive rebuild after the Parsons holdout, might be open to a blockbuster trade. And the target, none other than CeeDee Lamb. That's right, the young wide receiver who's been making waves since he was drafted in 2020 with the 17th overall pick. A guy who's already accumulated over 500 yards receiving, 45 touchdowns, and maintains an impressive 14. 2 yards per catch is potentially on the move. Now I know what you're thinking. Why on earth would the Cowboys trade away Lamb? Well, there are multiple reasons, and they all tie into their current situation. Dallas is facing a cap deficit of around $12 million for 2026, which is quite significant. They're also looking toward a future with a new quarterback after Prescott, especially considering Prescott's recent struggles, PFF grades dropping to 76. 5 and 10 interceptions this season. Their offense has stagnated at around 21 points per game, which is below expectations for a team with such talent. Plus, the Cowboys are focused on extending players like Diggs and rebuilding their defense, particularly the pass rush, which currently ranks with a PFF pressure grade of just 60. 2. On the other side, the Seahawks have roughly $21 million in cap space, and they're looking to strengthen their wide receiver core. After the injury to young receiver Anthony Young, who's been battling a quadriceps injury that caused him to miss 2 games, the Seahawks have been lacking depth at that position. They've been missing the explosive plays that a guy like Lamb can bring. Big yardage, YAC mismatches, all those things that make defenses sweat. Imagine this, CeeDee Lamb with his elite YAC ability forming a lethal trio with DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's a nightmare matchup for defenses. Metcalf, who's already proven to be a top-tier receiver with an impressive PFF grade of 89.3, paired with Lamb's ability to rack up yards after the catch and win contested catches, would give the Seahawks an offense that's not just explosive but also unpredictable. You add JSN into the mix, and suddenly, you're talking about a trio that could dominate third downs and red zone opportunities, flipping the script on what we've seen from Seattle's offense so far this season. Let's talk a little about Lamb's profile because it's essential to understand why this move could be a game changer. Since entering the league in 2020, Lamb has been a consistent deep threat, with a career average of 14. 2 yards per reception. He's accumulated more than 500 yards and 45 touchdowns, and he's shown the ability to elevate even when the quarterback isn't perfect. His 80% separation rate and contested catch percentage of 68% put him in the top tier of receivers league-wide. Even with injuries in 2024, Lamb has demonstrated resilience, and his peak performances, like that 152-yard game against the Eagles in Week 4, highlight his potential to be a true X-factor. Now, why would Dallas consider trading him? Well, as I mentioned, cap space is a concern, and with the team focusing on extending Diggs and rebuilding their offense around a new QB, they might see this as an opportunity to acquire draft capital, specifically second-round picks from the Seahawks in 2026 and sixth-round picks in 2027. That's a significant haul that could help Dallas address other holes, especially on their defensive line, which is also a weak spot right now with a PFF pressure rating of just 60. 2. Trading Lamb would also give them some financial breathing room, freeing up around $28 million in cap space, which could be redirected towards strengthening their offensive line or bolstering the defensive front. But for the Seahawks, this isn't just about filling a hole at receiver. It's about making a statement. It's about transforming their offense into a high-powered unit capable of taking over games. With Lamb's ability to create mismatches, whether it's in the slot or on the outside, he would complement DK Metcalf perfectly. Together, they would form a dual threat that defenses would struggle to contain. And let's not forget, Jackson Smith-Njigba, with his YAC prowess and route-running ability, would benefit immensely from the extra attention Lamb and Metcalf would draw. The impact on the Seahawks' offensive efficiency could be enormous. If Lamb joins the team, projections show that he could accumulate over 200 receiving yards in 2025, boosting the team's EPA per pass from around plus 0.13 to an impressive plus 0.30. That's a significant leap, especially with quarterback Darnold under center, who has shown flashes of competence and could thrive in a system with playmakers like Lamb. The red zone could also see a boost from 56% to 65% scoring efficiency, given Lamb's ability to win contested catches and make plays in tight coverage. This would help Seattle turn more of their red zone opportunities into touchdowns rather than field goals, which is crucial in close games. And when it comes to the bigger picture, this move could elevate the Seahawks' chances of making a deep playoff run. According to current betting odds, the Seahawks' Super Bowl odds could improve from +2,500 to +1,500, reflecting a newfound confidence in their elevated offensive threat level. If Lamb proves to be the difference maker in crunch time, especially in high-pressure playoff moments, it could transform Seattle into a true NFC contender. Remember, we've seen how explosive offenses can swing the outcome of the postseason. Just look at the Bengals with Chase in 2021, boosting their explosiveness by 19%, or how the Dolphins turned their offense into a juggernaut with Tyreek Hill. Lamb in a Seahawks uniform could be that kind of X-factor, turning the tide in favor of Seattle in the NFC. This potential trade also signals a broader shift in the NFC West and even across the league. The Seahawks, historically known for their strong defense and balanced attack, are clearly looking to amplify their offensive firepower. The Cowboys, meanwhile, seem to be recalibrating, focusing on rebuilding and restructuring for future success rather than short-term wins. It's a fascinating chess match, and the implications are enormous. The Seahawks could be setting themselves up for a new era, one where their aerial attack is the envy of the league, where they can punch through defenses with quick strikes, big plays, and relentless drive. Of course, nothing is set in stone yet, and we know how NFL trades can be unpredictable. But the rumors are gaining momentum because they make sense from both sides' perspectives. Seattle needs a dynamic receiver to complement Metcalf and JSN, especially after losing depth due to injury, and Lamb's skill set fits perfectly into that puzzle. Dallas, on the other hand, gets an infusion of draft capital and financial flexibility, which they desperately need as they look to rebuild their defense and develop their new offensive scheme around a different quarterback. Overall, this potential trade could be one of the most exciting developments of the offseason so far. It's a move that could reshape the NFC West hierarchy, elevate the Seahawks' Super Bowl aspirations, and change the trajectory for both teams involved. It's a classic case of a win-win if everything lines up correctly. Seahawks fans should be excited because adding a player like CeeDee Lamb could be the spark that transforms their offense into a truly explosive unit, capable of competing at the highest levels. And if this trade does happen, it will be fascinating to see how the Seahawks' offense adapts and thrives with Lamb in the mix, creating mismatches and making defenses pay for every mistake. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Seahawks are definitely in a position to capitalize on this kind of move. With a solid core, a promising young quarterback, and now potentially a star receiver like Lamb, the sky's the limit. The NFC is tough, no doubt, but with this kind of talent infusion, Seattle could be gearing up for a deep playoff push, maybe even a Super Bowl run. It's all about adding the right pieces and making smart moves at the right time, and this rumored trade might just be that move. Keep your eyes peeled because if it happens, it's going to send shockwaves across the league. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think the Seahawks should go all in and try to acquire Lamb? Or do you believe Dallas should hold on to him and focus on other areas of their team? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news. We're in the middle of an exciting season, and every week something new can happen that shifts the balance of power. So make sure you're subscribed, you're tuned in, and you're ready for all the action. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Seahawks.